All right. I'm getting some emails that are saying that I haven't approved the video, so I think I just went on there and approved it. And we'll go ahead and get started here in a second. As soon as I can get everything organized here. Hey, go ahead and email me. If you can't get onto the video, send me an email and I'll look into the settings one more time before we start here. But if you are on here, hopefully you can see that I got my classroom kind of set up here. Got my horse in the background that you guys that sits up top on top of my board. Got my American flag here, and I've got a new and improved whiteboard. So we'll start in about 2 or 3 minutes here. All right, it's still saying blocked. Let's see. Sorry guys, I'm trying to mess with the settings here real quick. I'm not much of a YouTube expert, so. Let's see. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and get started. And if I can't get through, then I'll work on the settings today. I'm actually going to shift my classroom over just a little bit. But hey, just after yesterday, creating my first and second YouTube video, I still have got a lot of learning to do. So again, I'm really thankful if you guys just hang in there with me as I work on the settings, and I'll get all the videos available for those of you who can't see them, because I'm not sure why they're blocking them, but or the videos are being blocked. But I'll take a look at it, and then I'll get a note out on the announcements board just on how to access the links. So, but again, I set up my classroom, so I'm becoming a little bit more comfortable with the environment and the setup. And I just wanted to kind of follow up on yesterday. Yesterday I had this apple here, and we were talking about Sir Isaac Newton and how during the bubonic plague, when he was kind of practicing social distancing, basically he had an apple hit him in the head. And it was from that point forward that he experienced what he called a year of wonders, where he just dove into, in his kind of isolation period, his studies and trying to learn new things. And so it's really been kind of cool to see just what you guys have reached out to me and told me that you're learning. I've heard people are still working on some of the assignments for my class and research papers that we were starting before the spring break. And so it's just been really encouraging to hear your feedback and what you've been learning, and whether it's fixing a lawnmower or in my case, trying to fix a dishwasher, which I'm right in the middle of and still can't quite figure out. It's good that we're all continuing during this period where schools kind of temporarily closed to continue learning. And so it's pretty exciting to see and to hear from you guys. So again, I really miss you. I'd encourage you to keep reaching out to me via email or on the discussion threads that I posted today. And it, send me a video via email about what you're doing, what you're learning, different things like that if you want. But it was just really encouraging. Yesterday, 35 people reached out to me, 35 of my students, former students, that they, told me they were going to try to really invest in this, whether it's my American history course or world history course. And so I'm really excited about it. Just the outpouring for people who really want to learn history and just learn for the sake of learning, kind of the Sir Isaac Newton thing. And so I've got my board set up here today, and we're going to talk about the West going East. I think I wrote East goes West in one of them. So, I got to get that fixed, but we're going to talk about West Goes East today, but I want to start by explaining how you can access the documents, whether you're a former student, current student, or just someone interested in learning about modern China. If you're outside the network, the Branson network, you're going to need to email me, and then I can copy you into, link you into the resources. And I'll give you my email and my Twitter handle at the end of this, so you can reach out if you want. But if you are on my Canvas page, if you're in my world history class, my world history gifted class, or you're tuning in on the US history class, you can still access my documents. You have to go under announcements, and the modern China document that we talked about yesterday is available there. And so we're going to do the first, we're going to start talking about the West going East today. And kind of finish up on Monday. But you'll notice I posted a discussion guide, and on the both discussion parts of the Canvas page in the World History and Gifted class and in the just general World History class. And so the first questions that you'll see in there are really just kind of at the outset of this discussion or learning experience, just figuring out what you already know about China. And I'm curious to hear what you post about what you know, because China's been in the news a lot. And whether it's politics, economics, social things, the coronavirus, China's been in the news a lot. And so I'm curious to hear what you know. The other thing is I'm really curious to hear what you hope to learn from China, or what you're curious about. Or as we go through this, I really would encourage you to post on the discussion board and see I'm just curious to see what you really want to know. And I'd love to tailor our lessons to meet your needs, to meet your interests, because I really want this to be a good experience for you as we kind of go through this. But the discussion board is there. If you're outside my Canvas page, a former student or someone else who's just taking the course, I'd love to get you those questions. So just email me, and again, I'll get you my email at the end. But hey, we'll go ahead and start here. And there's a note guide posted on the discussion boards, and it's got some guiding questions. What we'll do on Monday is we'll go back through those questions. So we'll kind of recap in the first part of my live stream on Monday. Hopefully, for those of you who are blocked out of the videos, I will fix that, and I'll reach out after we're through today and see how I can get those available for you. So, but we really start out, and this unit is modern China. So it's kind of interesting how, it's modern China, but we're going to start out in the 1700s because that's kind of confusing to people. But anytime you study the history of a different country, you sort of have to have some context, because context is really king when it comes to studying any history. And so the context here is going to show you why China was significant in the 1700s, and why it's significant it's why it's going to be, or how in the way it was significant in the 1700s, how that's going to connect to the modern side of this. So again, you really need that context, and this first reading, West Goes East, is really going to give you that. So China is contributing in the 1700s lots of new inventions. You've got the compass, you've got gunpowder, and those are eventually going to become highly valuable resources for other countries, which is going to draw those Western European countries, and eventually countries like the United States, to China. And when they have interest in that area, then that's where you're going to see a lot of the the conflicts between countries like Britain and China, and eventually the United States and China. And so in this first reading, you're going to see the importance of Chinese culture and Chinese political impact, economic impact, social impact. They have roadways and internal infrastructure, and within government and within all sorts of different things that is gonna impact other countries as they witness what the Chinese have or contribute, and other countries from the West are going to want that. And so that's really the first what you're going to get into. You'll get into, I've got the major topics here. You're going to look at the inventions. You'll see a little bit, you'll study the Opium War and how the British kind of come in, and there's conflicts over opium between the Chinese and the British, and that's going to lead to like a major conflict. The Treaty of Nanjing, you'll learn about that, and then you'll learn about this. It's not the dog boxer, but a famous martial arts group known as the Boxers, and the Boxer Rebellion. You'll really get into that in this reading, which will really be kind of interesting. It'll be interesting for you. So that's really the 1700s, and so that's really going to give us the context. Seeing why China was valuable is going to help us to see why China is still valuable today. Even though that there are some differences. The Chinese historically, in the past couple hundred years, have been had a major impact on world economies, world governments, and just social, whether it's social developments or social conflicts. Like they're developed right now. China's developing. Or has developed a 5G network, and they are set to deploy before the United States. At least that's what they're claiming. And so there's a lot going on with China that's going to become really relevant to us as we kind of move into the move forward. Another thing about this reading is that it covers about 200 years and about 2 pages. So there's a lot of summarizing. They're short summaries in the reading. And so I really encourage you, again, learning for the sake of learning, to get in and dig into the things that you find interesting about this. Personally, I find the Boxer Rebellion, it's one of the most fascinating conflicts. In the group itself, the Boxers they're very fascinating people, and we'll talk more about them on Monday. But it's a really cool opportunity to dig in. And again, I keep referencing Sir Isaac Newton, but keep learning, keep doing what you're doing at home with your families, and keep learning the subjects that you're passionate about, and even those that maybe you didn't think you'd be as passionate about. You might find some valuable information while you're learning outside of school. So the notes for Monday, again, I'm pushing out a lot of resources to you. The readings, the discussion boards, I'd encourage you to do those with the discussion questions. I'd encourage you to do the note guides. But again, this is optional. So this is really what you make of it. If you want to follow along in the notes, that would be great. It'll kind of give you some context and some organization. But if you want to do your own self-study, like I was kind of talking to, I think I talked to this group yesterday about how one of my most influential mentors was a professor who let me self-study and guided me in a certain direction, and then let me go. And I really discovered a lot of things on my own that was outside of the structure of a traditional course. And so I'd really encourage you to do that. But basically, I'll cover the notes on West versus East Monday. I just wanted to give you kind of a sense of the discussion boards there. I'd highly encourage you to post on those so we can have some good discussion. The note guides are there. The note guide is there, the first one. And so if you're interested, just dive into those things and take a look at what there is to offer with early China before we kind of advance 200 years into the future and start studying the more of the politics and the economic disputes and things that we're going to see within China. And so Monday, I'll cover the notes. Tuesday, that'll set us up. I'll have another discussion post by Monday for you on change in China. That's the second reading. And so you'll get some questions there. I'm trying to keep it short and sweet with my posts, with the lessons, and with the things that you respond to, just so you don't feel overwhelmed. But again, make this what you want. Make this what you want, because I think you can get a lot out of it. My email is Barbie, BARBEEA, at branson.k12.mo.us. So if you're watching outside and you want the resources, feel free to reach out to me. My Twitter handle, I'll post the live links, even though I just went live before I was supposed to. So then I had to delete the link and start over, which might explain why the video is not working again. But again, my Twitter link is Mr. Barbie AD. So MRBARBEEAD. And so you can follow me on there. I'll post the links there as well so that you can get to them. But again, I'm really excited to be doing this. I think there's a lot to offer here for those of you who really want to dive into modern China, as it is such a relevant topic right now in world history and in U.S. history. And I'm just excited for what this has to offer as we keep going. And hey guys, I miss you. I wish we were in class together. We have so much awesome learning to do before the end of the year. I hope you guys are doing well. I would encourage you, reach out to me. Let me know what you're thankful for. Let me know some of the things that you're doing at home, that you're learning, that you are thankful for, just with having this kind of new experience at home that none of us have really experienced before. But I just watched my son take his first steps. He's kind of been walking between things and kind of holding on, but now he's walking. And so I've been learning new things about how to keep my son from falling over. But it's just been so great to watch him grow and to watch my daughter practicing math, because we're working on homeschooling her. And it's just great to see all the learning that's occurring, even though school is not technically in session right now. So guys, keep learning. I miss you. If you have questions or things, I know I'm getting a few emails right now because I think the video is still not working. So again, I'm going to work on that for you guys. I'm going to keep learning. You guys keep learning. And I miss you. Keep up the good hope, and go Pirates.